Do not waste time beating yourself up over mistakes. Learn from them, then move on.
There is a moment nobody prepares you for. It comes after failure, after a mistake, after embarrassment. The world goes silent, and a voice begins speaking. Your voice, it asks no questions. It passes no mercy. You ruined it. You always do. You will never change. This conversation is invisible, but it decides your future. Here is the truth. Failure does not shape your life. The voice that follows it does. Stay here, because if you understand this, you will never experience failure the same way again. Thousands of years ago, Socrates said something disturbing. The unexamined life is not worth living. He did not say the punished life. He said the examined life. Ancient thinkers understood something modern people forgot. Mistakes are not crimes. They are information. But today, people treat mistakes like evidence of worthlessness. This misunderstanding is destroying potential everywhere. Let us talk about your brain. When you criticize yourself harshly, your brain reacts like it is under threat. Stress hormones rise, focus collapses, memory narrows. This is survival mode. In survival mode, the brain cannot learn. This is critical. You cannot grow while emotionally attacking yourself. Self-hatred blocks intelligence. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. And here is where most self-help advice fails completely. You were taught something harmful. If you are not hard on yourself, you are weak. This sounds disciplined. It sounds powerful, but it is false. Discipline without understanding becomes destruction. The strongest minds are not loud. They are calm. They correct without cruelty. That is real control. Inside you, two voices exist. One shames, one observes. The shaming voice says, "You failed because you are not enough." The observing voice asks, "What went wrong?" One freezes you. The other moves you forward. Wise people train the observing voice, not because it feels good, but because it works. Eventually, frustration appears. You feel stuck. You feel exhausted. You feel disappointed in yourself. This frustration is not weakness. It is awareness. It is your mind realizing old methods no longer work. Most people ignore this signal. They double the punishment. They increase self-attack. Wise people pause, and pausing is where growth begins. Marcus Aurelius wrote something powerful. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Failure is an event. Your response is a choice. Stoics never denied mistakes. They refused emotional chaos. They observed, adjusted, moved forward. This mindset still works today. This distinction will save you years. Behavior is what you did. Identity is who you are. When you confuse them, growth stops. I failed is useful. I am a failure is destructive. Psychology calls this cognitive fusion. Wisdom teaches separation. Separate the action from the self. This single habit creates resilience. Let us be honest. Shame sometimes creates action, but it is short-lived. Shame burns fast, then leaves emptiness. Learning lasts longer. Shame asks, "Why are you so bad?" Learning asks, "How can you improve?" One wounds, one builds. Choose carefully. Here is a framework used by high performers. They never call it motivation, they call it clarity. Step 1. Describe facts only. Step 2. Extract the lesson. Step 3. Apply one correction. No emotion, no drama, no identity attack. Just progress. This is how mastery is built. A man once failed publicly. People laughed. He felt exposed. Instead of quitting, he studied the failure, not emotionally, logically. He changed his process, not his worth. Years later, people admired his discipline. They never saw the quiet work. This pattern repeats everywhere. Social media shows perfection. It hides process. You compare your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel. This creates unnecessary self-hatred. Growth is not loud. It is repetitive, private, unattractive, and extremely powerful. This pattern repeats everywhere. You will fail again. This is guaranteed. When it happens, pause. Do not insult yourself. Lower emotional volume. Raise curiosity. That moment is emotional maturity. That moment separates wisdom from suffering. Let me tell you something important. You do not need harsher discipline. You need clearer thinking. Cruelty never educated anyone. Understanding builds strength. Be firm with behavior. Be respectful with identity. That balance creates unstoppable growth. Self-improvement is not self-punishment. It is self-awareness. It is learning without shame, correcting without hate. You are not broken. You are unfinished. And unfinished things can always be improved. Most people do not repeat mistakes because they are careless. They repeat mistakes because they never truly studied them. They reacted emotionally. They moved on quickly. No reflection, no adjustment. Mistakes ignored always return. Growth requires attention. Here is a hidden psychological truth. The brain prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar effort, even if the pain hurts. Self-criticism feels familiar, learning feels uncertain. So the brain chooses punishment, not because it helps, but because it is known. Breaking this cycle requires awareness. Unforgiven mistakes become emotional weight. You carry them into new situations, into new opportunities. They slow decisions. They drain confidence. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It is psychological hygiene. Without it, clarity disappears. Guilt says, I am bad. Responsibility says, I must improve. One collapses energy, the other directs it. Wise people reject guilt. They accept responsibility. That difference creates leaders. Real learning is quiet, no announcements, no dramatic promises. It happens when you sit alone and ask better questions. What failed? Why? What changes next time? This silence builds mastery. Noise builds ego. Pain without reflection is just suffering. Pain with insight becomes progress. Many people suffer endlessly and call it effort. Wise people pause, adjust, then move forward stronger. Pain is only useful when guided. Self-improvement is not urgent. It is long-term. Those who rush growth burn out. Those who stay patient compound progress. Wise people think in years, not moods. This patience protects mental health. As self-understanding grows, validation loses power. You no longer need applause to feel progress. You trust the process. This inner stability comes only after learning from failure correctly. It is quiet confidence. One day, something changes. Mistakes stop frightening you. They still matter, but they no longer define you. You respond with curiosity, not panic. This is emotional maturity. This is wisdom in action. Here is the final truth. You cannot hate yourself into becoming better. Improvement grows from understanding. Harshness weakens the mind. Clarity sharpens it. Choose clarity. If this changed how you see failure, do not keep it to yourself. Like this video. Share it with someone struggling silently. Comment below. What mistake taught you the most? Subscribe for psychology, philosophy, and real self-improvement. Because becoming better does not start with punishment. It starts with wisdom.